Park City, Utah is a popular ski resort located in the foothills of the Wasatch Mountains. This picturesque town, which was host to the 2002 Winter Olympic Games, lies just 30 minutes east of Salt Lake City. But Park City is also home to the Sundance Film Festival, an annual event that is widely recognized as the most important independent film festival in the United States. The festival, which was incorporated into the Sundance Institute in 1985, draws hundreds of film professionals and enthusiasts to the snowy mountain retreat. This year, the Sundance Film Festival showcased more than 120 feature-length films from 25 countries, including Iran, Pakistan, Lebanon, and Jordan. Kara Mertez is the director of the Sundance Institute documentary film program. She says the Institute is intensifying its focus on documentary filmmaking in the Middle East.
The Middle East is actually a really interesting arena for us. And we've been spending a good amount of time in the last year really exploring the question of documentary in the Middle East, which, as you may know, is quite complicated and very, very specific to each country and indeed each region. If we can begin to understand, for instance, how women live in Iran, or what's going on with women in Iraq, or how a Bedouin woman is struggling with, the immediacy of her life and her wishes in the context of her, social existence. These are very, very important stories for us.
Ms. Mertez says, however, that the Middle East is not developing documentary filmmakers as quickly as other regions.
Because in Arab cultures, documentary is not something that has a long tradition. Oral storytelling certainly does. Music has a huge tradition. Poetry has a huge tradition. Theater, in fact, has a huge tradition. Documentary itself, as a form of cinematic expression, is not the thing that we look back and see 15, 20, 30 years ago.
Among the international films presented at this year's festival was Dinner with the President, A Nation's Journey. Filmmaker Sabiha Sumar sits down with Pakistani President Pervez Musharraf to talk about the prospect of democracy in their country.
So, can you tell us what your vision of democracy in Pakistan is?
Pakistan has a society of its own. It's a feudal society. It's an agrarian society. Now, I examined why didn't democracy function here. The answer that we found through analysis was, first of all, there was no democracy at the grassroots level. Another malaise of Pakistan was that almost every Prime Minister of Pakistan has misgoverned Pakistan, unfortunately.
But I think what I understood from him is that he was able to explain to us why the country needs democracy, and that Islamic extremism is such a huge threat that it's not just a military fight that will work alone. It has to be a fight which is for the minds and the hearts of the people of Pakistan. The people of Pakistan have to reject Islamic extremism.
In addition to her conversation with President Musharraf, Ms. Sumar traveled across the country to find out what people in Pakistan really want for their nation.
We would like a Pakistan where there is freedom to exercise human rights equally for men and women.
Another award-winning selection at this year's Sundance Film Festival was the film Be Like Others, directed by Iranian-American filmmaker Tanaz Esharian. The film examines the issue of sex change operations under Iran's clerical regime.
Well, I read an article in the New York Times a couple years ago, and it was so fascinating to me that sex change operations were illegal in Iran, and that, this was something that was accepted and people were opting to have it. Because, I've grown up in an Iranian home, and it's the way I've experienced the culture, it's so traditional. And to do something like that within an Iranian cultural society, within Iranian society, I couldn't imagine how this was being played out.
Even though the theocratic government of Iran supports sex change operations, it is the families themselves who are often torn apart by this dilemma.
من 20 سالمه من میتونم به عنوان آدم حقیقی برای خودم تصمیم بگیرم
درست تصمیم گیری ولی باید در از خانواده‌تون به تا این حد نسبی باید در نظر بگیرید
آرایش من زننده
خانواده داره زندگی
تو فقط این چیزا که پیش پای افتاده رو چیز داری
Is this the crews, the cameraman,
Politics and controversy are natural subjects for the independent filmmaker, says actor and director Robert Redford, founder of the Sundance Institute.
Look, the word independent is meant to be not exactly contrarian, but I mean it's something that might not be available as the mainstream becomes main. As Freud said, look in the other corner, and so that's been our objective, and it's been satisfied by all the films that have come up that are doing that. So you can say it's political in the sense that it's free from what the norm is doing.
Future plans for the Sundance Institute include further support for documentary filmmakers in the Middle East and South Asia as they continue to look in that other corner by addressing challenging issues in their changing societies. This is Julie Vidati for A Woman's World.